Hello my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet the Filet Flowers Summer Wrap Shawl. I wanted this to be light and airy, perfect for summer days, breakfast in the morning, maybe you're going out in the evening and it cools down a little bit. You want a little something on your shoulders, you can put it around your waist. You can even just hang it off your shoulders on your elbows. It doesn't matter. It's made for summer. And we made it out of a light 3, which is a DK weight. And we'll talk more about the yarn that I used in just a minute. But I do absolutely love this yarn. To me, it looks like watercolor ombre, if that's a thing, because I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, this is the purple one. I also have a yellow one. Don't worry, I'll be using that one soon too, because you know I love yellow. Now the wrap shawl measures approximately 14 inches across, and mine is 37 inches long, including the trim that we're going to add on each end. Now this is a 5-row repeat in order to make the flowers. And then you just repeat those 5 rows. And so if you want it shorter or longer, you can do the length that you need. Just keep your tape measure handy so that you can measure. Each one of the 5-row repeats measures approximately 2.5 inches, if that helps you out at all. Now, again, I'm telling you approximate or about, because remember, we all have a different tension. Some of us crochet tighter. Some of us, like me, I crochet just a little bit looser. And I really think this pattern should be stitched up a little bit looser, because we want you to be able to see those beautiful filet flowers. They look like daisies or pansies. They're so pretty. All right, now you can find the complete pattern with pictures on my blog, and as always, I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. So to make our Filet Flowers Summer Wrap Shawl, you're going to need about 9 ounces of a light or DK weight yarn. This one is the Premier Anti-Pilling DK Colors in the Batik. I don't really know what that means. It's a fun name though. I guess I should look that up. All right, the color of this one is called Sweet Dreams. And you can see it's 100% anti-pilling acrylic, light number 3. All right, now they're suggesting that you use a 4mm crochet hook, but I want to use the 5mm. That way it's stitched just a little bit loose and lacy and has a really great drape. Although this yarn is absolutely soft and it drapes beautifully. I think you'll really enjoy working with this yarn. And of course you can find the link to Premier Yarn under this video. I try to put it like right towards the top. So if you want to go and find it, you can. And they have several colors. And like I said, I've got the yellow one. And I don't remember the name of it. I think it's called, might be Sunshine. I'm not sure. But anyway, I love the yellow one. Y'all know I love yellow. And I also love this purple one. My sister loves purple. And so I'm thinking about sending this to her. All right, so we're using about 9 ounces of a light number 3 or DK weight yarn. We're using a H hook, which is a 5mm. And then besides that, all you need is a needle to weave in your ends and a pair of scissors. All right, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is make our slip knot, and we're going to loosely chain 57 chains. And it's real important that you chain this loosely, because this is the end of the wrap and you don't want it all puckered up. Okay, so we're going to loosely chain 57. Try that again. We're going to loosely chain 57 chains. And again, I emphasize loosely. I have loosely chained 57 chains. All right, we're going to stitch a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the chains working all the way across our row. Now remember, at the beginning of this row, where we skipped those first 3 chains, that counts as your first double crochet. All right, when we go to count them at the end of this row. So we're stitching 1 double crochet in each of our chains, working all the way across. So for row 1, we began in the 4th chain from the hook, and that chain 3 that we skipped counts as 1 double crochet, and then we double crocheted in each of our chains. And remember, that needed to be loose so that it drapes nicely. For row 1, you'll have 55 double crochets. All right, and then I chained 3, and we're going to turn our work. Now we're going to begin making our first row of flower petals. All right, so our chain 3 counts as 1 double crochet, and we're going to double crochet in the next 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, now our chain 3 counted as 1, so we should have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We stitched 9 and we have our chain 3. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip 2 double crochets and double crochet in the next. Now chain 2, skip 2 double crochets and 1 double crochet in the next 10. But before we do that, I want you to see how that looks, okay? Chain 2, skip 2, double crochet, chain 2, skip 2. Now we're going to stitch 10 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there we go, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, I always want to make sure I only did 10, so I'm going to look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now we're going to repeat what we did here. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2. We're going to skip 2 double crochets, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, and now we're going to stitch 10 double crochets again. I stitched those next 10 double crochets. Now we're going to repeat this again. So we'll chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2, and then 1 double crochet in those last 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and don't forget that that chain 3 that we skipped at the beginning of our row 1 is our last stitch. Okay, and then chain 3. All right, so for row 2 we have 10 double crochets, then we have chain 2, skip 2, 1 double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, and then 10 double crochets, and then we repeated that. We end with 10 double crochets. So I have completed row 2. We have 10, 20, 30, 40 double crochets, and then we have 1, 2, 3 sets of chain 2, skip 2, double crochet, chain 2, skip 2. And of course, these are where we're going to have our flowers. All right, let's do row 3. I've chained 3. We're going to turn our work. We're going to double crochet in the next 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now our chain 3 counted as 1 and we stitched 7, so we have 8. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to come over here to this double crochet and stitch a single crochet right in that double crochet and then chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we're going to skip that chain 2. We're going to skip the first two double crochets, and now we're going to stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. And you can see how the bottom of that is already starting to look like our flower. Okay? So, we stitch 6 double crochets. We're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to come over to our double crochet and stitch a single crochet and chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll skip that chain 2 in the first 2 double crochets and stitch a double crochet in the next 6. Get in there. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, again, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip those 2, skip the chain 2, and single crochet in that double crochet. And chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we'll skip the chain 2 and the 2 double crochets again and stitch in those last stitches. So 1, 2, 3, whoops, there we go, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. Chain 3. All right, so let's take a look at it. We started with our chain 3 and stitched 7 more double crochets, so we have 8. And then we chained 4, single crochet, chained 4. And we skipped the first 2, stitched 6, skipped the last 2, and did our chain 4, single crochet, chain 4, and then repeated that, and then 1 double crochet in the last 8 stitches. And I want you to take a good look at it because you can see those flowers already starting to form. Isn't that pretty? And of course this yarn is just gorgeous. Now we're ready for row 4. We've chained 3. We're going to turn our work. Our chain 3 counts as our first. And we're going to double crochet in the next 7. So 1, 2, 3, whoops, there we go, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So our chain 3 counted as 1. We stitched 7 more, so that's 8 double crochets. Now in this chain 4 space, we're going to stitch 2 double crochets. Just go right around that chain. 1 and 2. Okay, so that gave us 10. All right. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to double crochet in that single crochet. And now we'll double crochet. We're going to stitch 2 double crochets in this next chain 4 space. 1 and 2, and I want you to see, there we go, how that flower just pops right out. All right, so now we're going to place a double crochet in the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, got a string there. We want the whole piece. There we go. 5 and 6. And now we're going to repeat what we did. We're going to stitch 2 double crochets in that chain 4 space, going around that chain. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to double crochet in that single crochet. And chain 2. All right, now we'll stitch 2 double crochets in that chain 4 space, going around that chain 4. And then again, we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in those 6 double crochets. Alrighty. Isn't that beautiful? All right, let's finish up this row. We need to stitch 2 double crochets in that chain 4 space, going right around that chain. We need to double crochet in the single crochet. Oh, we forgot to chain 2. We need to chain 2. There we go. Now we double crochet in that double crochet. And then chain 2. And then we stitch 2 double crochets in that last chain 4 space, going around that chain. And then we stitch 1 double crochet in each of those 8. 1, 2, whoops, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And again, we'll chain 3. So chain 3 counts as your first double crochet on every row. All right, so now you can see those flowers just pop right out. So we have 8 double crochets. We have chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 double crochets in here. All right, chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, then we have 10 double crochets. Then we have our chain 2, double crochet, chain 2, double crochets. Now we're ready for row 5. And row 5 is really simple. We've chained 3. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to stitch a double crochet in each of our double crochets. We'll stitch 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space, and 1 double crochet in that center double crochet, and 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. So we're going to make a solid row of double crochets across. So here's our chain 3, so we'll start in the next. If you can do a double crochet, a single crochet, and chain, you can make this wrap shawl for summer. You will love it. It's light, it drapes beautifully, and it's really pretty. Alrighty, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 in here. 1 in that double crochet. 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. 1 and 2. And then 1 double crochet in each across to the next flower. Alrighty. And it's real important that when you do this row that you keep your count straight, because each time you repeat you want your flowers to be perfect. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 double crochets. Now we're to the next flower and we're going to stitch 2 double crochets around that chain 2, 1 double crochet in the center, and 2 double crochets in that chain 2 space. All right, and look at that. Is that not just the most gorgeous thing? All right, so I'm just going to repeat this across. All right, so I have completed row 5, and it is a solid row of double crochet, and you should have a total of 55 double crochets. And you need to make sure when you do your solid rows that you have 55 double crochets, because if not, your flowers will not turn out perfectly. Aren't they gorgeous? I just love them. I love how just those chains and spaces just make a beautiful flower. So now we're ready for row 6, and row 6 is super simple. We chained 3. We're going to turn our work, and we're just going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets across. Super simple. And once you see how easy it is to do the flowers, you won't even have to look at the pattern anymore, or even the video for that matter, because it's really easy. And I think you're really going to enjoy stitching this up, as well as giving it as a gift, or even just keeping it for yourself. All right, so row 6 is just 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets, working all the way across our row. So we have now completed the first 6 rows. Isn't that beautiful? I really love this particular pattern, or stitch pattern I should say, and I think it's perfect for this wrap shawl. So what you're going to do now is you're going to continue to repeat row 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, those 5 rows, for 16 more times. Now, that's going to give you a wrap shawl that is approximately, let me look at my notes again, it's going to be approximately 37 inches long. And I always stress that we all have different tension, so it might come out a little tighter, or it might come out a little looser, or it might come out a little longer or a little shorter. One thing you can do is measure as you go. If it's not coming out the width that you want or the length, you can always change your hook size. If you're stitching too tightly, go up a hook size. If you're stitching too loosely, go down a hook size. We all have a different preference of how we stitch and how we want things to fit. Okay? Now, using the H hook does make it open and lacy, and that's what I was looking for. So if you do the pattern according to I have written, it's going to be approximately 14 inches wide and 37 inches long. All right? And in order to get that length, you're going to need to repeat row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, and row 6 those 5 rows 16 more times. If you want it longer, do more repeats. If that's too long for you, say you're shorter and it's just too long, do less repeats. All right, and again, each of the 5 row repeat, it measures approximately 2.5 inches. And again, that's approximately. I have completed those 16 additional repeats. So here's 1, which was the one we did. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. All right, and like I said, that's going to give you a wrap that's approximately 37 inches long. Now you'll notice I've already made the trim on this one end. Okay, and so if you add more rows or whatever, when you get it to the length that you want, this is the trim that we're going to do. All right, so I'm going to show you on the other end how to do it because we're doing the trim the same on both ends. All right, but it's a little bit fancy because this is a little bit of a fancy wrap. Now on the other end of the wrap, we just chained 1 and started our trim. But on this end, we have to join our yarn in. All right, and so we're just going to join it right into that first stitch. Chain 1 and then single crochet right in that first stitch. There we go. Let's get this camera in a little closer. All right, that's better. So we single crocheted in the first double crochet. We're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. All right, now we're going to skip 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then single crochet in the next double crochet. Okay, and now we're just going to repeat this across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet in the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet in the next. All right, and we'll just do this all the way across, and then when we turn and come back, we're going to stitch in these chain 6 spaces. So I have stitched all the way across, chain 6, skip 5, single crochet in the next, all the way across. Then I single crocheted in that last stitch. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go in this chain 6 space. There we go. We're going to stitch 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now we're going to stitch what's called a picot. So we're just going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch in the top of that stitch, and then stitch 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2, and chain 2. All right, you see how we did that? All right, so we chain 2. We're going to go to the next chain 6 space and stitch 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now we're going to chain 3, slip stitch in the top of that stitch, and then stitch 2 more double crochets, 1 and 2, and chain 2. All right, see how that looks? It's an open, lacy, elegant trim. All right, let's do it again in the next chain 6 space. We chain 2, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 3, slip stitch in the top of that stitch, and 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and chain 2. Isn't that beautiful? And that's what we're going to do across in each of our chain 6 spaces. 2 double crochets, picot, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and repeat all the way across. I have stitched this all the way across, and isn't that just gorgeous? I just love it. When you do your last chain 6 and you've done your shell, 2 double crochets, picot, 2 double crochets, you're going to chain 1 and join right to that single crochet where we started. All right, and we're done. Now we just need to weave our ends in and tidy it up. All right, so I have to tidy up the other end, and I have to tidy up this end, and then in the middle where I added my second cake of yarn. So that's not a lot of tidying, but I like to make sure it looks really pretty. Go back and forth, go through the stitches, and just make it really pretty. That way, when you give it as a gift or even wear it yourself, you got no strings. No strings attached. I do love this trim, though. I think it looks beautiful with this wrap shawl. So now my Filet Flowers summer wrap is all complete and ready for me to give it to my sister. Now her birthday's in July, so I'm hoping to go down there and celebrate with her, and I'll bring this for her. I think she'll love this. She's always loved purple, and she loves fancy things. And I think this wrap shawl is super elegant. Great for taking on a cruise, on vacation. You know, you get out there and the breezes on the ocean and stuff can be a little chilly. And it's nice just to have a little wrap to throw over your shoulders, even if you're wearing a sundress or a bathing suit. It's just a great thing to have in your summer wardrobe. I just love it.